Hey guys, it's Anne from Anne of Green Gardens. I filmed a very long tour of my gardens a few days ago, and I am finally getting around to compiling everything. Feel free to start and stop if you need to, because I know it's very long, but I pretty much went through everything that I have. And if you have any questions about anything specific, please let me know, and I'd love to get back to you. I hope you enjoy. Thanks. I want to do a tour of my garden because I haven't done too much at all in the last few weeks as far as recording anything. This is my section where I'm trying to get some dahlia tubers to grow, and you can see I definitely have some things starting. And I also had some caladium tubers that I had saved, and nothing is happening so far, but maybe over time things will heat up. This is my shed bed, and almost all of the bulbs are done except these Dutch irises are just coming out, and they're actually like way taller than I thought they would be. That one's obviously white. And then over here I see we have a couple of yellows. You can see the tip is just yellow. And other than that, I have planted seeds. So that looks like a zinnia. And another zinnia. I've been really good about watering these just because if seeds dry out, you know, they're kind of done for. And I have a whole bunch of things. I don't even remember what I put in here. I clearly am not very good at certain types of record keeping. But we will see. I do know I have a special type of, maybe like a dianthus or something that I'm trying to grow. So moving along to the trash area. Seems to be some kind of emergency happening somewhere. So I'm letting all of these bulbs die back, and they kind of took over, and it was very messy over here. And then I was gonna plant some things, some annuals, but these dianthus that I just kind of left have come back so nicely. And they kind of come and go a little bit, but if I do cut them back after they finish blooming, they will come back again. So I'm super happy with how bright this area is. And then as the bulb foliage slowly dies back, like you can see down here, like I can just, well, I'm not going to pull that, but I would cut that and just kind of gather up the dead stuff just to kind of clean it up as it dies back naturally, just to allow the bulbs time to get the sunlight for next year's blooms. Then moving along to the front, I have put in a whole bunch of annuals again to just sort of have a little color as the bulb foliage dies back. And I kind of went with like a pink and red palette, sort of like a, I don't know, like a wine color and light pink. And then I do have these random self-seeded pansies, which, I mean, I would never plant a pansy there. I would never plant pansies right here. So these are both the purple and white. They're both self-seeded, and they clearly are very happy. Same with this guy. Like, I don't plant this close under the like the drip line of the house because like it's naturally not getting that much water, but it's doing all right. And then over here, more bulb foliage is dying back. I did put out my fairy garden items just for fun. I was gonna put them in a pot, but I planted other stuff, so I was like, I'm just gonna throw the fairy stuff out here. And you can see, kind of going with my color scheme. I do have a couple random purple things. Oops. Didn't think they would bloom. Here they are. And those guys are also self-seeded. And moving along to the west side, this is one of the new hydrangeas I put in. It's one of the ever blooming varieties. It's kind of like the original, I forget what it's called, but it's just supposed to be like either the blue or the pink. And this area is really hard to plant with items because, like, look how dense this area is. This is the grape hyacinth foliage. I really can't plant in there, so I'm just planting around that with my bright annuals as much as I can. And this peony that I planted, maybe, I think last year was the first year that I got like maybe one bloom or something. It's clearly doing really well, and it's gonna be this like bright pink, which I love. And classically has ants on it, which is fine. It's just a sign that there's something like sweet on the bulb before it pops open. And then I actually had some alliums that survived. I forgot I had these here. So those will just keep looking pretty cool like that. And then moving along, It's just like messy over here. So, you know, I threw in some plants where I could try to keep them watered. And then I actually did plant some like super tall sunflower seeds back here and like back there. So just for fun, we'll see what happens. And then heading into the backyard, keep going. I have a couple open spots where I just bought those hydrangeas there that they're gonna go in this border. And my columbines are doing so well. Look how lovely they are. Granny's bonnet, it's also called. For this area, I went with like a pink and a purple theme for the annuals. And because it is like shadier, I had to go with things that are okay with shade, because this part's like real shady. And the azaleas are just about done blooming. They're past their peak. The hellebores, like they're still going, some of them. It's like, you know, a little flower there. They're lovely, and they have really nice foliage. How many times can I say foliage in this video? And over here, that pink flowering thing, that is a mountain laurel, which is the PA State tree, I think, shrub, plant. And it has like, they're so bright, you can't really see it from here, but it is so nice. And moving along, my heuchera or coral bells are coming back really nicely. They do get flowers, but they're not really the main point of growing them. And they actually are a native, but I mean, this is a named variety, so you know, it's all right. My bird bath is having problems, so moving along. And then here I have 1, 2, and 3 spots open for some hydrangeas. I have one more I'm going to get from my parents. And again, I'm just letting all of the bulb foliage die back. I do try to clean it up as I go along, and so like clearing that kind of stuff out just to keep it going and make room for things that are going to grow. So like this guy that's really yellow, I'll be able to cut him at the base and pull him out soon. And then moving along, I just call this my triangle garden. It's not really, but that's how I describe it. I was trying to clear this out to make room for more annuals, for more of like a cutting garden. And the perennials that I kind of did around the back, and I have like some shrubs here too, they've really just like gotten big and bushy. So I'm probably gonna be cutting back this lilac bush, because now is apparently the time to do it, because I don't need it to be like a literal tree right there, and that's what it's aiming to do. But I have more peonies here that are about to open. This is like a super light pink, and then I have that bright red rose is starting to bloom. And in the back, I have my 3 remaining delphinium plants from this section, the one I had to move over. So they'll be blooming soon, and I have a whole bunch more growing in the basement that I do not know where I will be putting them. So hopefully I find a spot soon. And then over here, I popped in some annuals. These is just a type of verbena. These guys haven't even bloomed, so I don't know what color they'll be. And then I put in, these are the primroses that I grew from seed that I started in, I think, like January. And, you know, there's a little bit of new growth there. So it just is like a bit of an adjustment for them. I had a hard time for these as well, finding a spot to put them. Because you kind of commit, because it is a perennial. And I try to keep this more of an annual bed. But I had to put them in somewhere that I knew I could like water them frequently if needed. And they do like full sun, so this is super sunny spot. And then back here I have 3 dahlias I grew from seed. These are pom-pom variety. It's like a ball. It's kind of cool looking. And behind that this is mostly the Queen Lime Zinnia section, which most of what you see there is just weeds, but I can see from here a couple things are popping up. That guy right in the middle, that's a zinnia that's popping up. So that's exciting. And then some of these are things that I also grew from seed. I don't remember what these are. Oh, here we go. This is called Dianthus Rainbow Loveliness. It's like so spindly and it looks so terrible. I don't know if it's gonna survive or not. We'll find out. Maybe it will do better if it gets direct sown, but I had room in the basement, so I was like, I'm just gonna try it. And then over here I have 5 Scabiosa Formula Mix flowers, and they got lost last year behind taller stuff. So they were really cool flowers, and also called pincushion flowers. So I really wanted to be able to actually see them this year. These echinacea are not supposed to get too tall, so I should be able to see the Scabiosa this year. And moving along, I have some snapdragons. I have a whole bunch here. A lot of weeds as well. Yay. They are self-seeded, so that's really fun. And I popped in some kind of basil here. I don't remember which basil. So that will just be nice green and I can access it. And I was running out of room in my garden. Shocker. This section right here, I have not dealt with very much at all. Tons of bulb foliage still to go. So I'm kind of holding back a little. It's just kind of like messy. I almost have to come in like every day or two to like keep working on getting the foliage out as it goes down. But I do know I have some, these are, wow, these are snapdragons. They have also self-seeded, so that's great. And I was thinking of doing mostly like snapdragons and cosmos, because I had orange cosmos here last year and that was really nice. And here I have one more delphinium here and one here. Out of like the 10 that I planted along here last year, these are the 2 that have survived because they were chewed horribly by rabbits. But they are protected and the whole yard is like rabbit proof now, so should not hopefully be an issue. I do need to do quite a bit of weeding everywhere though. Ugh. Moving along here, things have really grown. These are things I just kind of planted in here when it was cooler, maybe like a month or 2 ago. And this stuff is already bolted. I don't even know what this is. This is just a microgreen mix. So it looks like some kind of, I don't know, bok choy. I don't really know. I probably missed the window on eating these, but you could probably still eat the leaves. Anything that's bolted though is likely to be kind of bitter tasting. And then here I kind of planted these tall spiky onions in here for when this stuff was done. My cilantro is still okay, so maybe I can use that at some point soon. I think I have one Swiss chard. I think that's it. So he's clearly enjoyed by some other creatures out here, and that's all right. Here are my beets, and I just planted, oh, this is really weedy. I just planted my cucumbers the other day, and you can see, well, it's a little hard to see. Where is he? There's one, and there's another. They're kind of still coming out of the seed, the shell of the seed. Ooh, look at my strawberries. Ooh, you see in there. Look at all those. Tons of flowers. This first flush is probably gonna be the best flush. That's why it looks so good. Even though this is an ever-bearing type, it'll just keep going and going. It'll just be like smaller amounts next time. But like, I think this is gonna be a really good harvest. Everything is really healthy. And I would say like half of my garden right now is lettuce. This is what I planted on purpose. A couple of these I planted on purpose, and the rest of this was the self-seeded stuff. I need to have like a salad party or something. This is a little insane. These are my peas. It's called Early Frosty pea, I think. And they've really started taking off. I'm not sure why. Maybe they just needed to develop the root system. But I have tied them up a little bit. Luckily, I did see somewhere that, I think it was Gardener's World, that you actually do need to tie up these vining peas, at least for the first like foot or so, and then before they really take off. So glad I figured that out. And then I planted out my tomatoes. So I have to find the label for that. But I have, out here I have Kellogg's Breakfast, Brandywine, Abe Lincoln is on the other side, and then I do have my 1 spoon tomato out here. And I also just threw in some marigolds just for classic reasons. I don't know if they actually do too much to help deter pests, but it looks nice, and why not? And then over here I have some of my sweet peppers. These 2 in the back are California Wonder, and these 2 are, it's like a mixed, that's one. This guy's covered up. I think this is arugula that's like getting enormous. This little guy here is the pepper. I'll have to probably remove that big guy soon so he's not like completely smothered. And then over here, this, I can't remember if this is oregano or thyme, but clearly it is flowering. Hope that means it's gonna stay alive. And then also my sage is huge and flowering. I already did cut it back. Haven't really seen any bees on it yet, but I mean, it looks like something that a bee would like. So hopefully they come over here. And then I have some other onions that I just randomly picked up and threw in here, and they're doing really well. And then last but not least, over here, I have kind of this random section. Mostly I'm planning for like dill and my pink celery. So you can see, I guess it doesn't look super pink right now, a little bit. This is self-seeded from last year. You can see it's like pinker there. And I also grew some in my basement, which I just gave away because I was like, you know what? If I don't have to transplant some celery, then it's probably going to do better. I actually did pull out a bunch. You can see it's kind of like all over randomly. And then same with my dill. I pulled out a ton of dill, and I think I'd said in one of my other videos, which may or may not be published on YouTube, I had to end up being really careful because, let me see if I can find it with my camera here. Let me see if I can just point to it right here. Okay, so that little tiny yellow dot, that is, and also there are a couple on each plant. For the most part, they are likely swallowtail butterfly eggs, and they just kind of, I've seen them like kind of jump around, and they're like trying to find the dill. And the one butterfly I saw, it looked like he was having a hard time finding the dill, so I felt really bad that I ripped some out. But the dill can take over, and I will be eating some of it because I love dill. It's kind of a big dill, you know. So that was kind of exciting to find that. This is really hard to find. There we go, that little guy. And I think they try to like, oh cool, I think a bird just pooped on me. That is so disgusting. I think I'm gonna have to go clean myself up in a minute here. But I think they try to like spread the eggs out so that it's not like a big like feast for something that would eat the eggs of it. All right, and my next one will be me cleaned up from the bird poop that pooped on my leg. And I will continue on with my back and my side border. I'm recommencing my recording, cleaned up from the bird poop incident on my leg. That was nice. Over here, I popped in a few annuals, and I also did, ooh, might be basil. I did put another type of basil over here. Clearly I like ran out of room real bad. And then I also put in the last of my primroses here, and they seem to be doing okay. I don't know if they'll bloom this year because it's normally a spring bloomer, but sometimes when you are just starting something from seed, it may not bloom until the next year. But who knows, maybe it will. And then here's the rose bush. I decided not to move just because I didn't know where else to put it. So I'm getting a lot of blooms here, so that'll be very nice in maybe a week or two. And then over here I had cleared this out from Rudbeckia or Black-Eyed Susan last year. It is desperately trying to bring itself back. Like all these fuzzy leaves, that's Black-Eyed Susan. But I'm trying to do another cutting garden here. So I actually have Tithonia or Mexican sunflower in the back. And then I did a whole bunch of zinnias. I can't remember what else I did, honestly. I may have done some bachelor button. I could have done some more cosmos. I was just going hard for a couple days when I had the time, and I was just like doing as much as I could. And I had kind of written out something with a plan, but then when it came down to it with seeds, I just had to like throw them in and cover them up and water them. There's my ugly compost as usual, and the pile of leaves that I will use to mulch around things, especially in the veggie garden, like around the tomatoes. So I'm kind of excited for that. I have been pulling out some continued raspberry runners, so super glad I did get rid of that, because I guess I'm not suited for it, and how much maintenance it is. And then, so this is my shade area under the blue spruce, and it's filling out. I've been throwing more things in, more of my beautiful little columbine. They're all like the pink red ones. And then I did divide my hostas along my other shade border, and I mean, look, those guys are like, they look like full plants already. Lovely. And then I have some astilbe coming in. This bleeding heart is flowering now, so that's cool. And then I do have some more hellebores there. Clearly, I forgot where things were planted because that astilbe is like right up on the hellebore, so they don't really need to be that close. So I'll deal with that later. And then along here, I think this is some kind of oregano, maybe. I don't know. It's gonna flower. Has these nice, lovely purple flowers. And then this is a bleeding heart. It's I don't know what variety it is. Somebody gave it to me, but it is a perennial, and it prefers the sun. So I'm not sure if this is like a native, but it's really pretty, and it'll, you know, once the blooms are gone, it'll build itself back up to bloom again later. And then in here, oh, look at that, more columbine. More columbine. Whoops. All right. I did not intend to drop the phone, obviously. And I see my Helenium or sneezeweed. I don't think that's coming back. Nothing there. So that didn't last very well. Some things don't come back. This is a this was supposed to be like a small pink flowering hydrangea, just a little guy. So he and his partner, like over there, I don't know if you can see him, they did not do well after planting them. They just never did well, even though I watered them really well constantly. And so I'll just find something new to put there. And this guy's coming back. This is a hellebore that I wasn't sure if it would survive, but it has. And then over here you can see these seedlings are all black-eyed Susan. So I'm gonna either do some hoeing or pulling, just because this is not the spot that I want them. And they kind of just spread horrendously. So congratulations on being a native, but for a garden, I just want a little bit more control than having only black-eyed Susan. Over here, this is a toad lily, also a native, right next to another astilbe. So I should have marked that better. And then I went to a native, well, I actually went to 2 plant sales this year. One was specifically for natives, and one just happened to have a lot of natives. So this, I believe, I want to say this is black cohosh. Yeah, so this guy, like, I didn't even notice this till I got it, but it gets 3 to 5 feet tall, and it's a shade lover. So this should help to like fill out this area and just to create some privacy in this corner from the nabs. Well, we might as well continue back here while we're here. I don't remember what this is, but that did not survive. And then this is some more of the mountain laurel, and you can see it's like this bright pink, and they get like these cool speckles, and this should eventually get really big. You can see the lighter green, that's the new growth, but it's not exactly a super fast growing plant. That's okay, it takes time. Gotta have patience, I guess. Then I noticed over here, this is an oak leaf hydrangea, and it's got all these funny offshoots. So it looks like it has these new sprouts, and I don't really want to check super hard to like mess it up, but these actually could be like kind of runners that are like growing and sprouting. So those little guys could just be the same plant, because I feel like that's kind of the habit. You can see the new flowers coming in. I didn't even deal with the old flowers, I just left them. Didn't really care, it's so far away. And then over here, I'm calling this my phlox corner. I have so many phlox. I'm pretty sure that's a weed. I have all these phloxes that I got from other people, and then I had moved from off of my porch area. But that should be really lovely. And then I have some of my irises are starting to come out. This one's a nice light purple, very like lavender purple. It does have a grape scent. It's really cool. So those other ones should be popping out soon. And kind of random, I'm very random, kind of random, a lot of native plants along like this middle section here, which is fun and hopefully like kind of a carefree way to garden. Clearly I'm not very good at being a carefree gardener. And then this is the border where I had all these lovely bulbs. And they are mostly gone except for those purple alliums there, which I'll get closer to that. And I was just popping in some more annuals in here just for like a low border when the bulbs die back, just so that like everything else, because everything else is like generally taller, just to make it bright and cheerful. Obviously these are not natives, but that's okay. I do enjoy a lot of cutting flowers, so if I have a lot to cut from, then I will make some nice bouquets. And I'm calling this Iris Row. The whites have opened and they also have a lovely scent. This guy, I didn't know what colors I was putting in. I was just moving them around and throwing them around. This one, it looks like it has like a burgundy yellow. There were some like unusual colored ones, and you can see there's a lower one there as well. So those will be fun when they pop open. And these are my alliums. They are doing really well. Haven't really seen many bees around them, but I don't know. Maybe it's just too windy today. I don't know. And moving along, I don't know what many of these plants are. I will hopefully figure them out as they get bigger and flower or do what they're going to do. But I know a lot of these were from a lady who, well, a couple people actually, who had divided their native perennials up. This is my Mount Everest allium. I have one planted here, and then I have these two big fellas. I could have sworn they were going to be purple. They may have been purple in the catalog, so I'm not super pleased, but it is what it is. They are kind of expensive per bulb, but I mean, they're like 4 feet tall at least. So that's fun. They're very visible from far away. And then back here, just waiting on things to grow. A lot of my shrubs are coming in really nicely here. It's just kind of a mix of natives and non-natives. And then I just kind of continued with the same colors along the back. Just really bright stuff. Honestly, there's no real theme. It's like purple and orange and red and pink. So, you know, altogether they would be considered probably kind of clashing, but that's the way the cookie crumbles. And then here I popped in a ton of natives from the plant sales, and it was kind of nice because once these are settled in, I really shouldn't have to do too much to deal with them besides maybe helping to control them if they self-seed too much or more than I want, or if they just need to be divided. So this should be really nice. And I did try to keep the tags with them so I would know what they are, but I have a whole bunch of really nice things. Some Veronica back there, that's already starting to bloom. And then along here, my pawpaw trees are doing okay. I really should make some kind of a shade thing for them. We'll see. And I had these big sections open kind of randomly along this area, so that darker spot, I just watered that and I marked it out with these posts. They're like little bamboo stakes. I put like cutting flowers in there for myself, so mostly like zinnias and cosmos, maybe some bachelor buttons, things I like to have a lot of. Moving along, got some more random salvias. Bought a lot of those. I think I bought a whole flat with salvias. And then I decided to just continue with some of my veggies out here because like my fence has the rabbit-proof fencing now, so I'm hoping, you know, nothing should be dug up too much except by squirrels and maybe a few other things. So I have some more mixed bell peppers. These are 2 jalapeno peppers, and then I had like some random tomatoes still, and so I think these are I have a Kellogg's breakfast and then some of my Abe Lincolns. And I'm just curious to see how it's gonna grow in this, because this is like, there's a ton of mulch. So hopefully there's enough nutrition in here to grow things that the roots can go down far enough to reach like the compost and maybe into the actual soil level. You can see I have like 4 of these dark spots with my annuals. And then I also love snapdragons. So I got a whole bunch of different colors, just a big mix, and some of them are starting to pop open with color, and that should be really nice. And yeah, got some colors starting here, so that's like really exciting. And then to finish things up here, we already did that section. See up there, I'm gonna zoom in here. That is a robin that has a nest right there, and it's in the gutter, but it's at the back of the house, and you can see the hole from the other gutter up above. It's a little beyond, so I hope if it does rain a whole bunch, the nest won't like get flooded out. This poor bird has had to deal with me like coming in and out here all the time, and I try to go in off of the central part of the porch as much as I can. This poor bird watches me and I just try to move slowly and not be too obnoxious, and sometimes she'll stay there. And I just wanted to share, my window box pansies are open mostly, but these are some that I started from seed in January. This one's kind of nicer, but yeah, they're pretty happy here. A lot of the other ones of the same variety have not opened out where the soil's not as rich, and it's kind of just like poor rockier soil. So hopefully at some point maybe they'll bloom. This is one of the planters I did. I have 3 of these, and I really wanted to do like themed colors, kind of control the colors a little bit. So this is kind of different for something that I do. I have that like spiky plant there. I don't remember what it is, but to me it's spiky plant. And then along here, this is my new porch border that I'm very excited about. Really was just throwing things in here. I just did like 1, 2, 1, 2, like extremely uncreative planting, but I was at the point of just desperation to get things in because I had like 7 flats of annuals in addition to like 20 different seed varieties that I was trying to plant all over the yard. So here I have some nasturtium seeds that I'm hoping to grow in here. I don't remember what they look like when they come up, so hopefully I'll recognize it. And then here I definitely have some more zinnias, classic zinnia, and I think this might be Cosmos. So I just wanted like a nice tall back flower, and then these guys are going to be, they'll get taller, but they are not going to get super tall. And then my sweet peas are doing a little bit, not a lot. I may fertilize them. And then my hanging baskets of pansies that I grew from seed are so happy, and I'm happy with them. And then I did these 2 other planters. My friend who is moving, shout out to Jenny, she gave me some lovely things, including this dragonfly climber. I'm not using it as a climber right now. I just had to put it out because it's so pretty. But I'd like to use it someday for some kind of climbing plant. But she gave me both of these planters. So 3 of these round ones, which those are really nice. And then 2 of these. And I planted, you can really see it, it's like the vining stuff. That's a black-eyed Susan vine. And then I just threw in some more petunias. And I did put them up on bricks. And also my dad had made me these planter feet to keep them up because there are so many ants that live underneath these bricks. They actually like do all of this fun stuff. Not my favorite. So I just wanted them up because they will like tunnel and make homes and nests in my planters, and then the plants like do not do well. And over here was just another of the same 2 that I showed, plus a hosta. I had dug up and divided it, and I was like, I'll put these in pots because they like shade. And then continuing on here, I have a lot of phlox that the roots are clearly still in the ground and they're trying to bloom. But I did plant the same thing as I did on the other side here to have some continuity. And then I'm almost done on my tour, but I have 2 more of my hanging baskets of pansies. And over here, I was like, you know what, I'll just try to match the color theme over there, which is pink and purple. And I threw in some random pansies and then some of the pink impatiens here. And then these are the 3 hydrangeas. So I'm going to plant my shade. It's kind of a sloppy area. And over here, last but not least, I have my long-standing peonies that were here when I moved in. They are going to pop open really soon, and it actually probably behooved me to just cut this now and put it in some water, and they would pop open, but I may give them another day. Clearly these should be the first ones that I cut because they're like on the ground. And then over here, these are gladiolus bulbs that I planted last summer, and they just looked like this. I don't think I've got any blooms over here, but they have overwintered and survived, and I'm hoping maybe I'll get some flowers this year. They look kind of substantial, so I'm hopeful. And then this was one more dahlia tuber that I grew this one from seed. So yeah, the birds are out. I think they're yelling at me. They're pretty angry right now. But thanks for joining me on my tour. I probably have some work to do, but I think I'm gonna sit on my porch and have some coffee and eat a donut. I think that's what I need to do first. One last thing, I just wanted to share this. Obviously I need a hydrangea mug for my coffee, just decaf, and then a vanilla Long John, which I let my husband take a bite out of it. I'm like, look at that bite. That's a little outrageous. Just kidding. You can have whatever you want. I took a bite out of his peanut butter one. But yeah, I'm gonna sit out here, and hopefully the birds will come to me if I'm quiet enough over at the bird bath, and also on the feeder. Thanks for joining me. Stay tuned for more videos coming up this summer.